New right tackle coming to town? Sign me up. Go! What is up, Bengals fam? It's your boy Mike coming back at you with another Who Daily. What a daily it is. Is this the biggest free agents period that the Bengals have ever experienced as far as, like doing the exact shit they need to do to make their team better? I mean, it's one of the best ones I can think of because, look, like I've been telling you guys this entire time, Super Bowl roster, proven Super Bowl roster with a shitty offensive line. Go into the offseason. The only thing you need to do, the only thing you need to focus on is improving that offensive line, and that is what they are doing. Today, it was official. La'el Collins, the right tackle that have been floating around in the media as a potential Bengals target. You've seen tweets. You've heard people like me blather on about it. But he is in town. The Bengals flew him in town, just like they did Riley Reef last year. They're flying him into town. Rumor is Joe Burrow is present for these meetings. La'el Collins went to LSU. Joe Burrow won LSU a national title. La'el Collins has Frank Pollock connections. If he doesn't sign in Cincinnati, it's because they lowballed him, and I don't think they're going to lowball him. I think that they're going to pay him what they think he's worth, and he's worth paying like a starting right tackle, which, is what he is. So, huge. This is really big, guys, because if you take a look across, even if they sign La'el Collins, they don't really need to do much more at all on the offensive line. I know people are going to say, well, we need a center or a left guard, or what about or right guard? What about, or what about J.C. Treader? And, dude, come on. Trey Hopkins last year, he wasn't the problem. It was the guards. The guards got beat like turnstiles every single time. They just rodeo style Olayed defensive lineman right into Joe Burrow's lap. They fixed that. They got two guards. They got Ted Karras, who officially signed his contract today, gave us his first Who Day.
What's up, Cincinnati? This is Ted Karras, the newest Bengal. Very grateful to be here. Very pumped up to be on your squad. Can't wait to get it going here this spring and fall. And Who Day.
How about that? Little awkward, little weird, but hey, whatever. He's the dude. Got the big Who Day from Ted Karras. They're gonna sign today. They also made it official. They signed both Mike Thomas's. So yesterday it was I let you guys know they were signing Michael Thomas, the DB / special teamer. They signed Mike Thomas again. They signed Mike Thomas today, the wide receiver / special teamer. So they got the market cornered on Mike Thomas's is in free agency, bringing back their dudes. They also officially signed Josh Tupou today. I told you yesterday they were going to do that. They officially signed him today. Also, the Bengals went out and got potentially an upgrade, maybe not an upgrade, but definitely not a downgrade at tight end, as Hayden Hurst, who has been stuck playing behind some really freakish tight ends in the league in his career. Most recently Kyle Pitts in Atlanta, but he comes over, signs free agent from Atlanta. Look, guys, they put him on a prove it deal. They basically signed him to a deal that says, hey man, you're going to come in here and be our starting tight end. If you produce on this deal, probably going to make it a longer term situation, right? But that is not going to stop them from drafting a tight end. I've been telling you guys, they're going to draft a tight end, and it'll probably be about the 4th round is what I would guess when they would draft a tight end. 3rd at the earliest, but first 2 rounds going to be defense. I'm pretty sure that another signing that happened today, Eli Apple signed a $4 million 1-year contract. This is an insurance policy. This is a depth signing. What they want to do is draft a corner probably in the 1st round who's going to come in and take bump the entire roster down because he's going to be the other starting outside cornerback. As far as cap space goes, unless they cut Trey Hopkins and or Trey Waynes, unless they cut one or both of those guys, they're pretty much up against it right now. And I think you won't see anyone cut until they're are more kind of ink to paper signings, but they have the flexibility to still cut some guys and save a bunch of money if they want to. And they may just bring Trey Hopkins and Trey Waynes back. I don't know why they'd bring Trey Waynes back. He hasn't been able to get on the field, so I feel like that it's just a matter of time as to when they're going to cut Trey Waynes. Trey Hopkins, though, he may end up being a part of this offensive line. He may end up being your starting center, which, again, is not a bad thing. Trey Hopkins is not a bad starting center. He had terrible guards on either side of him this past year, and a lot of times that made him look worse, but really, he is a league average or above center and always has been. No reason to think he's going to not be that as well. Now, the Bengals may still sign a center, and I'm fine with that if they do that. But right now they're in a great spot where they don't have to make decisions based on desperation and needing to fill a spot. I think they've got, especially if they end up signing La'el Collins, that would be 3 brand new offensive linemen. And the one that we knew wasn't going to leave when Jonah Williams, because Jonah Williams was their best offensive lineman last year. And the only question now is, if they sign La'el Collins to play right tackle, what do they do? Do they keep Trey Hopkins to play center, or do they go about it in a different way, trying to fill that spot? I'd say they probably keep him. They like Trey Hopkins quite a bit, and they have other needs to fill. Right? They need to go sign. Probably another defensive tackle. Speaking of that, Jarran Reed was visiting. This is per Malik Wright's reporting. Jarran Reed is going to be visiting. Jarran Reed would be he would take over the B.J. Hill role from last year. B.J. Hill took over the Larry Ogunjobi role, right? Because Ogunjobi left. Jarran Reed would be stepping into the B.J. Hill role that he played last year, right? So not any really a crazy, and it's another one of those prove it deals, just like Ogunjobi had. So the Bengals are doing this thing, and I've been calling it the middle class free agency strategy, where they go in and don't overspend on guys. I had somebody call me out on Twitter and say, "Oh, what about Trey Waynes? They overspend on Trey Waynes." You can say that about any player that doesn't see the field, guys. If you pay a guy the league rookie minimum, and he doesn't play, you're overpaying him because he's not able to get on the field. So it doesn't matter what they would have been paying Trey Waynes. It would have been considered an overpay because he never played. Now, if he would have played and played up to what the potential they thought he could play at, it wouldn't have been an overpay. The contract wasn't really that bad, and as you can tell, it hasn't stopped them from signing other free agents, especially on the defense last year. They signed a bunch of free agents on that defense. His contract didn't stop them from doing that. So what I meant by they don't ever overpay is, yeah, there may be a guy here or there you could point to and say, this was an overpay or this was an overpay, but those are outliers by and large. And I'm talking more as overpays on your roster that limit you to be able to sign guys to fill depth spots, to be able to have the roster mobility that you need. I've been calling this the middle class strategy, but really what they're doing is the Moneyball strategy from the old Oakland A's, but they're doing it in football, right? So they're going out and finding guys that are really good at one thing and then putting them in those positions to succeed. Larry Ogunjobi is a really good penetrating pass rushing 3-tech. When he was in Cleveland, the Browns asked him to be a nose tackle, and he's not a nose tackle, so he didn't play very well. He came to Cincinnati. The Bengals asked him to do just what he's good at, and he got himself a big contract just playing 1 year doing that. Same thing's going to be happening with a guy like Jarran Reed, a guy like Hayden Hurst. They're not going to be asking. Hayden Hurst isn't a terrible blocker, but he's certainly not anywhere on the level of Drew Sample. Drew Sample is maybe the best blocking tight end in the league because that's all they ask him to do. They don't go ask Drew Sample, to go out and be the shifty inline split out tight end, right? Because he can't. It's not his game. But they will ask Hayden Hurst to do that. And they'll also draft a tight end at some point, right? I already mentioned that. But the Bengals are playing basically the NFL equivalent of Moneyball, and I love it, man. I think they're going into this draft. If they sign La'el Collins, they're sending a signal to the rest of the league, hey, you better come with it, man, because you guys couldn't stop us even when our interior offensive line was a wet paper bag. And now what are you going to do? This is a team that you're going to have to score with. And by the way, you can't run the ball against them. This is a top 10 run defending team, right? And the way that teams beat Joe Burrow is keeping him off the field, essentially playing ball control. That's how Cleveland beats them. They run the ball up the gut, maul it out take the time of possession, make sure Joe Burrow doesn't have the ball in his hands in order to go down and beat you. Well, here's the thing. If the Bengals' run defense is top 10 and you can't do that, the Bengals are basically making a bet. They're saying, we bet that if we make you get into a shootout, a 1v1 against Joe Burrow, against your quarterback, and the Bengals are saying, I don't care who that quarterback is. They stared down the Grim Reaper himself twice last year and beat him. So they're not afraid. You know, do you want to go 1-on-1? You want to go 1v1 with our quarterback? Go ahead. Let's do it. They're calling their shot. They're saying, let's go. Run it. They're going to run it back with a better roster, guys. This is a Super Bowl roster. It's already better than it was last year, even with the guys they lost. Okay, get excited, man. This is the best time in history to be a Bengals fan. Period. I mean, they're set up with a young quarterback on his rookie deal. They're going to pay him. He's going to get the bag. They're going to keep Jamar Chase with him. This is a long-term, exciting time to be a Bengals fan. And I'm going to be right here with you for the whole thing. But until then, I've been Mike. This has been Who Daily. See ya.